You've probably heard it all your life. Drink milk for strong bones. But what if that old advice isn't the full story? What if there are everyday foods hiding in your pantry right now that do a better job than milk and are gentler on your stomach too? If you're over 50 and you've been wondering how to stay steady on your feet, lift your grandkids with ease, or simply get through the day without creaky joints, this might surprise you. Let's start small. Literally. Chia seeds may be tiny, but they pack a powerful punch when it comes to bone support, especially as we age. Just 2 tablespoons of these little wonders contain about 180 milligrams of calcium. That's more calcium per gram than milk, without the bloating or digestive issues that many older adults face. But chia's magic doesn't stop there. They're also rich in plant-based omega-3s, which help soothe inflammation, a common culprit behind joint aches and bone thinning. Plus, they bring along fiber to keep your digestion running smoothly and protein to help maintain muscle strength. And here's the best part. They're incredibly easy to use. No cooking, no prep, just sprinkle and go. Take Mela, a 67-year-old retired glass artist from Michigan. She used to struggle with balance and occasional muscle cramps. Her doctor suggested calcium supplements, but they made her feel sick. So instead, she began adding chia seeds to her morning oatmeal and smoothies. Within weeks, she noticed fewer cramps, steadier footing, and more energy throughout the day. "They're my invisible armor," she said, smiling. If you're new to chia seeds, start by adding a tablespoon to your yogurt, oatmeal, or even salad dressings. Let them sit for a bit. They absorb liquid and turn into a gel that's gentle on your stomach. It's a simple habit that can quietly strengthen your bones, one breakfast at a time. Now that we've seen how something so small can make such a big difference, let's look at a leafy green that brings back memories and delivers even more bone-boosting power. Now from tiny seeds, let's turn to something leafy and hardy, collard greens. These dark green leaves might remind you of family dinners or holiday meals, but they're also a powerhouse when it comes to building stronger bones. 1 cup of cooked collard greens has about 270 milligrams of calcium. That's even more than a glass of milk. But here's the real secret. The calcium in collard greens is easier for your body to absorb than in some other vegetables like spinach. That's because they're naturally low in something called oxalates, compounds that can block calcium from getting where it needs to go. So when you eat collard greens, your body can actually use the calcium more efficiently. And there's more. Collards are rich in vitamin K, which helps your bones lock in calcium. They're also full of fiber and antioxidants that support your overall health, from digestion to inflammation control. Take Oswin, a 72-year-old jazz guitarist from New Orleans. He drank milk all his life, yet his calcium levels were still low. It wasn't until his dietitian suggested he go back to his roots, steamed collard greens, just like his grandma used to make, that things turned around. His knee stiffness eased up and his blood work improved. "Turns out, Grandma knew more than doctors," he laughed. If you're ready to give collard greens a try, they're easy to prepare. Lightly steam them or saute with garlic and olive oil. They go great with beans or tofu and add a comforting, familiar flavor to your plate. Next, we'll explore a food that's soft, simple, and plant-based, yet filled with more calcium than most people expect. Now let's shift from leafy greens to something softer, more subtle: tofu. It might not look like much on the plate, but tofu is one of the most powerful foods for bone strength, especially for older women. Half a cup of tofu made with calcium sulfate contains anywhere from 250 to a whopping 800 milligrams of calcium, more than most people expect. Tofu also comes with a bundle of added benefits. It contains nutrients that help your bones absorb and use calcium properly, like magnesium and phosphorus. Even more impressive, tofu is rich in special plant compounds that support hormonal balance. something especially important for women after menopause when bone loss tends to speed up. Take Briani, a 60-year-old from Oregon. After recovering from breast cancer, she became vegetarian and was worried about getting enough calcium. Milk wasn't part of her diet anymore, and she didn't feel confident about taking pills. Her solution? Tofu. She started eating it 3 times a week, in stir-fries, baked dishes, and even blended into sauces. Within a couple of months, her energy returned, her strength improved, and she found herself feeling more balanced during yoga. It became part of my healing, she told me. If you're new to tofu, don't worry. It's surprisingly versatile. It takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with. Saute it with garlic and spinach, blend it into a smoothie, or add it to soups and casseroles. Just be sure to look for tofu labeled calcium set for the biggest benefit. Next up, we'll explore a food that may raise eyebrows, but it's one of the only sources where you can actually eat the bones, and your bones will thank you for it. From soft tofu, let's move to something a bit more bold: sardines. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Sardines? Really? But hear me out. These little fish are one of the most calcium-rich foods you can eat, especially if you eat them with their tiny, softened bones. Just 3 ounces of canned sardines with the bones provides around 325 milligrams of calcium. That's more than a full glass of milk. What makes sardines even more special is that they come with a built-in bonus, vitamin D. This vitamin helps your body absorb and use calcium properly. Sardines are also rich in omega-3 fats, which support your joints and reduce inflammation, a major factor in bone loss as we age. Take Anel, a 75-year-old retired sailor. He spent most of his life avoiding sardines. Something about the smell, he said. But after his doctor warned him about thinning bones and low vitamin D levels, he decided to give them a try. Twice a week, he began eating sardines on whole grain toast with a squeeze of lemon. Within months, his back pain improved, his energy returned, and his lab results looked better than they had in years. Those little fish I used to ignore might have saved my spine, he said, half joking but all grateful. If you're new to sardines, start simple. Mix them into a salad, mash them into egg salad, or pair them with pasta and olive oil. A little lemon helps balance the flavor. They're shelf-stable, budget-friendly, and require no cooking at all. Now let's move from something savory to something a little sweet. A snack that can satisfy your cravings and still strengthen your bones. After something as bold as sardines, let's ease into a snack that's familiar, satisfying, and incredibly helpful for bone health. Almonds. A single handful gives you about 75 milligrams of calcium in a full cup, around 385 milligrams. But almonds bring more to the table than just calcium. They're loaded with magnesium, which helps your body make good use of calcium, and vitamin E, which supports healthy cells, including the ones responsible for keeping bones strong. Almonds are also great for keeping inflammation in check. That means less pressure on your joints and more support for the muscle and bone connection that keeps you steady and mobile. Plus, they're one of the easiest foods to carry, store, and enjoy anywhere. No cooking, no cleanup. Let me tell you about Fiorella, a 69-year-old from Arizona who loves sweets. Cookies, cakes, you name it. But after a conversation with her daughter and a concerning bone scan, she made a simple switch. She started snacking on roasted almonds dusted with a little cinnamon. Not only did her sugar cravings go down, but her next scan showed improvement. "They're my guilt-free treat," she said, "and my bones are thanking me." You can sprinkle almonds into your cereal, add slivered pieces to salads, or enjoy almond butter on whole grain toast. They're also great to keep in a small container for when you're out and about. A healthy bite that supports your bones and curbs your hunger. Now that we've crunched into one of the tastiest sources of bone support, let's turn to a simple kitchen staple that may surprise you with its calcium power. and it's probably already sitting in your pantry. Let's move from crunchy almonds to something warm and hearty. White beans. They may not look flashy, but these humble legumes quietly deliver a solid dose of calcium, with 1 cup offering between 160 to 240 milligrams. They're also full of magnesium and potassium, two nutrients that help your bones hold on to calcium instead of losing it over time. As we get older, it becomes more important to keep our bodies in balance. Certain foods, especially highly processed or overly salty meals, can throw off that balance, leading to more calcium being pulled from our bones. That's where white beans help. They're a gentle, natural way to support bone health while also keeping your energy up. Soren, a 66-year-old retiree from Pennsylvania, found this out the hard way. After a scary fall on his icy front steps, he realized it was time to take his bone health more seriously. His wife started making a hearty white bean soup every week. Within a couple of months, Soren was feeling steadier and more energized. "Beans beat pills," he said with a grin. The best part? White beans are incredibly easy to add to your meals. Toss them into soups and stews, stir them into pasta dishes, or even mash them for a creamy, dairy-free spread. You can use canned beans. Just give them a quick rinse to cut down on the salt. Now, if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth, the next food will definitely catch your attention. It's chewy, naturally sweet, and a surprising ally for your bones. From hearty beans to something sweet and chewy, figs are the perfect way to end our list on a delicious note. These little fruits may not look like much, but they're packed with calcium, about 120 milligrams in just 5 dried figs. And beyond calcium, they also offer a helpful mix of potassium, fiber, and magnesium, all of which quietly support your bones and your overall balance. What's especially great about figs is how they satisfy your sweet tooth without relying on processed sugar. They provide natural sweetness along with a soft, chewy texture that makes them feel indulgent. But they're actually doing your body a big favor. Figs also help with digestion and keep your energy steady throughout the day. Take Calista, a 74-year-old from Florida. She loved her afternoon pastries, but after talking with her nutritionist, she knew she needed a healthier swap. So she started eating dried figs with almond butter or a handful of walnuts. Her blood sugar stabilized, and to her surprise, the joint pain in her hands began to fade. "Figs brought sweetness back into my life, without the guilt," she told me. If you're looking for an easy way to try figs, chop them into your oatmeal, pair them with a slice of cheese, or blend them into snack bars for a healthy on-the-go option. They're shelf-stable, portable, and a wonderful way to give your bones a little extra love, the sweet way. Now let's take everything we've learned today and wrap it into a few simple takeaways you can use right away. The strength to dance, to walk, to embrace your independence. It's not gone. It just needs the right fuel. And sometimes that fuel is chia seeds, or tofu, or figs. The smallest choices shape the strongest lives. From Mela's chia seed smoothies to Callista's fig and almond butter swaps, we've seen that simple daily changes can lead to real improvements in energy, balance, and bone health. These foods aren't exotic or expensive. They're practical steps you can take right from your own kitchen. Whether it's blending white beans into a soup or adding greens to your plate, each bite supports a stronger, steadier you. So don't wait for a fall or a scan to make a change. Start small. Start today. And if this video helped you rethink what it means to build stronger bones after 50, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Wellness Nest Daily, your home for calm, credible health wisdom for life's next chapter.